Hello, trading is closed on July 31st, 2014, and I'm Jeffrey Tennant. Yesterday, mejt had a target of 1966.32, which turned out to be a considerable understatement. There were a few failed targets from June. We had 1948.30 and 1942.43, each of them printed. It's amazing how support or resistance was found right at the numbers even after a month and a half. The next lower mejt failed target is 1928.93. It should print at some time. I'm not so certain we'll see it tomorrow. The software identified all the targets, identified a sell signal. It said this rally was not for keeps, and we dropped. On page 120 of my book, there's a signal which has failed only once in all the years I've been following it, and it predicts that at some time tomorrow we're going to have a good rally of at least 8 to 10 points. It doesn't say where the rally starts from, though. I don't know if it starts from today's low or not, but there is some evidence that it may. One is we closed at the low of the day. Often that's followed by a gap higher, but it doesn't work as well if it's in free fall as the market is now. If it's a new low of several months, it could be not just the public who is selling, but everybody. Let's look at the longer term picture. Let's first remember we have some higher mejt targets in the 1980s. They have a fantastic track record, but mejt likes to leave failed targets at major changes in trend. This is the sum of all the failed targets from 2012, and you'll see they're exactly at this low, exactly at this low, and exactly at this low. It's entirely possible that those targets from earlier in the week in the 1980s will mark a failure at a high. I've been calling for a top since here. Frankly, I expected it to show up much earlier than this, but I guess it's better late than never. Score one for Trader Vic. If we look at the longer term picture, the break of this trend line meets DeMark's criteria for sustainability and tells us we have more to go on the downside. It doesn't mean we're going there in a straight line, and one of my trading rules is that when we have a sloping trend line which is broken in a straight line, we tend to revisit the trend line again at some time. Occasionally we just revisit the price of the break. The weekly sell from Tom DeMark remains intact. It's important to note we had a drop to a significant trend line on the nose, and coupled with the close on the day's low gives us another reason to think that that low might hold for now, even though I don't think it'll hold forever. We also have a huge volume spike at a low under all the lows of the day right at the close. It's basically a sign that retail customers, as soon as the market closed, sold en masse. Professionals had to buy from them, and usually when they do that in volume like this, they make certain they get their money back pretty fast. Call for tomorrow is that we should have a rally of at least 8 to 10 points at some time, It could start with a gap up, but I don't think it's a lock, and that's today's call.